So we're going to start the Figma workshop. So to introduce myself, hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm a second-year Cog-Sci major specializing in AI and HCI, and I'm also minoring in CS. And welcome to the Figma workshop. Thank you. So today we're gonna go over what is Figma, why is it important, and I'll also be going through a Figma demonstration of kind of recreating the Spotify playlist UI and just go over some basic features. So what is Figma? Figma is an app that is used to visualize concepts through wireframes and prototypes, and you can collaborate with other team members in real time. And Figma is usually used to design websites, apps, logos, etc. So why is Figma important? I guess you can imagine you and your team, you guys are developing an app maybe for the solution challenge, but you guys change your mind on like a feature or design midway, causing your team to start over from scratch and just do the whole thing all over again. And basically your team would waste time and motivation, and especially if you're at a company, you guys would lose money, which is also not very good. So to go over the basic terms, wireframe, mockups, and prototypes, it's a step-by-step process. So wireframes are kind of a less detailed or vague visualization of the structure of your app idea. And this would not like your wireframe wouldn't include like the very accurate images. It would just be like a blank square to represent an image or like lines to represent texts. But you guys will understand more once I get into the demo. And then the mockup is a more detailed version of the wireframe. So you can think of the wireframe as like your very first draft, and the mockup is a more detailed version, like your second or third draft. And this would include more accurate images of your desired app and the accurate text. And then the prototype is the actual functional model of the product. So in Figma, prototyping is a feature that you can use to represent like the app flow, which I will teach you guys later in the demo as well. Before I get started, does anyone have any questions on the differences? Okay, it looks like nobody has any questions. So you guys want to go to figma.com, and you guys can also access these slides with you guys can see the bottom left corner, tinyurl.com/GDSC Figma workshop. And this will be useful just to keep track. And just get started, sign up or log in with Google, and you can answer or ignore the introductory questions. And give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready. For those who are ready, give me a thumbs up. If not, I'll wait a couple more minutes. Okay, so it seems like most people are ready. So what you want to do is open the design file and not the purple button, which is called the FigJam board. Basically, the difference is the FigJam board is kind of just like a whiteboard used for brainstorming before you actually get started on the wireframing. But because like I already have a set idea for you guys that we will recreate, you guys can just jump into the design file. And give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready. Okay. So it seems like most people are ready. If anyone has questions, don't be afraid to raise your hand. And throughout this demo, we'll learn how to create frames, use a layout grid for easier spacing and grouping elements, sharing components, and of course, prototyping and wire connections. And for this demo, I actually have another design file for you guys to reference for all the components or elements that we will be using for the demo, just to make it easier for you guys. Because the whole point of this demo is just to learn how to maneuver through Figma. So just go to tinyurl.com/Figma component and component with the capital C. And also give me a thumbs up if you guys have opened that file. Okay, so wait, can you guys hear me? So if you guys, oh yeah, you guys can see like what we'll try to recreate. And of course, this is just a reference photo. And you guys don't have to follow my every step that I say. You guys have your own creative freedom as well. And also, it's okay if everything's not aligned perfectly, because you guys can always adjust that at the end and there will be time for you guys to do so. So first, I'm just gonna go over like the menu bar and what these different tabs mean. So over here next to the logo in the top left, it's the move tool. And this basically allows you to move elements. Like I can move it like right here. And then this tic-tac-toe board represents a frame, which is basically the foundation of what like a device screen is what we will be working on. And today we'll probably just go for iPhone 13/14. Right next to the tic-tac-toe board on the right is a square, and it just represents all the different shapes that you can put onto your Figma. And then the pen right here, we will not be using, so I won't go into that, but it's just a pen. And then the text box allows you to insert text. And the resources has 3 different tabs: the components, plugins, and widgets. And actually, if you guys open the components file I told you guys about earlier, I got all of those icons from the Iconify plugin. So if you just search up Iconify, you'll see this with a smiley face. And if you just run it, and you should be able to search up like check mark and then select the one that you want and import it as a component, but you guys won't need to do that because I already have it set up for you guys. And then over here, we won't be using these elements today, but they're not super important. You can either like move across the screen without moving anything, or collaborating with others using the chat. And then on the left side of the screen right here, we have our layers and assets. Our layers contain everything that we've put out on our screen, including the frames. So here I have my first frame called playlist, and my second frame called Peach Eyes, which is the song. And then it just contains all the images that we put in our frame and different components and groups, and I'll get into that later as well. And then on the right side, once you click on one of the layers, Oops, I actually clicked on the chat. Let me move that over there. There's the design and prototype tabs. And for the wireframe and mockup, we're just gonna be on the design tab, and then we'll get to the prototype once we finish the mockup. So now I'm just going to create a new frame, and how you do that is going to the tic-tac-toe board I mentioned earlier, and just click on that option, and it should highlight blue. And then click on, I guess you could choose any iPhone screen you want or Android. And now I'm just gonna put it underneath the reference photo for you guys to see. And this is optional, but I like to go onto the design tab while clicking on that frame and going to the corner radius and switching it to 30. It just makes it curved, more aesthetically pleasing. And so now I'm going to show you guys how to use the layout grid. You basically just click the layout grid option underneath the design tab while on the frame layer. And it just shows a grid, and this has an eyeball icon next to it, so it's easy for you to visualize with it and without. And this will be taken off at the very end. It's just for easier spacing. So now what we're gonna do is create our Spotify background. And what we do for that, while still on that same layer, click on the fill on the design tab. And you can see underneath the custom and libraries tabs, there's the solid background option, but there's also the gradient background option. And if you guys use Spotify, you guys know that Spotify, once you click on the playlist, it has like that color gradient in the background. So we're just gonna try to recreate that. Choose any color you want. I might just do purple. And this is on the left square on the leftmost side of the spectrum. And then I'm gonna click on the right side and change it to black. But Figma by default makes the black a little bit transparent. So once you're clicking on that black square on the right side of the spectrum, go to the color wand, and there should be two bars. Go to the one that has like that transparent feature in it, and go all the way to the right. And this just basically makes it more opaque. And you can also adjust it to change the gradient, and that looks good for now. So we're gonna get started on the playlist image cover. A hack or like a shortcut. You guys can also see this while pressing on the different features on the menu bar. I'm just gonna click R for a rectangle, and then click anywhere where I want the rectangle or square to be. And it just shows up like that. And then I'm just gonna make this square 230 by 230 in the width and height underneath the design tab. And kind of just try to center it. For the demo, it doesn't matter if it's perfectly aligned. You guys can always adjust that later. So now that we have that, we're gonna go to and recreate the playlist title. And for the text box, you can also just press T on your keyboard or press the text box feature on the menu bar. And for the Spotify playlist title text, I tried to find a font that is most like the Spotify font, and that's called Jeju Gothic. You can just search up in the font or text section in the design tab. And once you have that, you can name your, oh, I guess my text box is gone. I'm gonna recreate it. Name your playlist. I'm gonna just call this Hannah's playlist. And kind of move it right around over here. And I'm gonna make the size 24, which it already is size 24. So right over here looks about right. And then I'm gonna open the design file because I did not do that. But now that we have our design file for our components, then you guys can see that there's like the back button on, it's the very first icon that you should see. Just copy and paste that. And the sizing and color should be correct. Are you guys able to copy and paste from the design file? It's control for Windows, right? What? Okay. So I got it right here. And obviously, if you can check the reference photo, it's gonna be in the top left corner, right around here. I'm gonna try to align it with my playlist image cover, but it doesn't have to be exactly like that. Oh, okay. Wait, is this? Oh, that's really zoomed in. Okay. Okay, now this looks a little better. You guys can see it more clearly. So now that we have the title and the back button, we're going to try to recreate the time playlist time duration, which has the globe with the time. So go back to your components file and copy and paste the globe. And as I said earlier, all of these icons can be accessed through the plugin Iconify. I'm gonna place it right about here. And then I'm gonna just copy and paste this text box and replace it with the time. I can say like 2 hours, 40 minutes. And the size of this text will be 15 or anything that you see fit. Wait, let me adjust. And kind of put it next to the globe. And then we're gonna repeat this for the download, collaborate, 3-dot menu along with the shuffle and play button. There's so many people in that one. But hopefully like the separate components file helped you guys a little bit just to make things easier. So you guys don't have to be searching for that specific one. Okay. And then just a shuffle. I'll just take it from here. That's way easier. I don't know. Okay, so thumbs up if you guys are ready with all the icons on your, like the download, collaborate, 3-dot menu, the shuffle, and the play button. Or thumbs down if you're still not ready and still working on it. Okay, I'll give you guys a little more time.
If you have any questions, just raise your hand. Come up, help you individually.
I'm just gonna try to make it aligned. And thumbs up if you guys are ready. I'll just give you guys a couple more minutes. Oh, Jeju Gothic, Jeju, and then Gothic. Oh, I don't know what's the I'm trying to. I don't think it's controlling.
Press Control C. You just press Control C.
Oh, okay. Oh, like right here. Okay, I'll just make it easy. I just wanted to make it different. Okay, so if you guys are ready, give me a thumbs up. It seems like most people are ready, so I'm gonna move on. So now I'm gonna show you guys how to group these icons because in Spotify, in the app, all of these features will be next to each other all the time, usually. Like, if that makes sense to you guys, I feel like the download, collaborate, and the 3-dot menu additional features will always be next to each other, as well as the shuffle and play button. But you guys can group it however you like. But what I'm gonna do to make it easier to edit on in the future is just like hover over all of the elements, like drag your mouse over all of the elements, I guess that's a better way to say it, and then right click, and then you should get the option to do group selection or Control G. And then you'll see in your layers tab underneath the frame that you're on, it's called group 4. The groups are represented by a dot here. And I'm gonna rename this to playlist features just so it's easier to read and for other people if you're collaborating with others. So now you can click on that group and just move it all together and nothing will be changed. So I'm gonna do the same for the globe and the time duration, since I'm pretty sure they'll always be together. Right click or Control G, press group selection. And then I'll see on the left side in my layers that a group has been created. And then I'm gonna rename this as playlist duration. And honestly, this just makes it easier for you guys to move things around without like having to move each individual element when you want to move like a whole group at once. And that's, I guess, the point of the name. Raise your hand if you have any questions about how to group things. And give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready. And give me a thumbs down if you guys need more time. Okay. So now we're gonna get started on the songs. And what I'm gonna do is press R on my keyboard, which is a shortcut for adding a rectangle or a square. I'm gonna make this square 60 by 60 since this is gonna image cover. And I'm gonna place this around here, just a little bit of space below the playlist features. And then I'm gonna just create a text box and add the song title. And this is in the same font called Jeju Gothic. And the song title is gonna be size 15. And try to center it in the middle or like right around here. And then I'm just gonna copy and paste this and put it right underneath and put Taylor Swift. And then this font size is gonna be 12. And I don't know if you guys can notice in our reference photo, but the author font color is actually gonna be gray. But of course, you guys can actually just readjust this UI however you like. Maybe into a different like Spotify playlist layout, whatever you think would be better. And then I'm gonna highlight whatever I want to change the color of, and then go to the fill option underneath the design tab, and then click on the gray option. I guess this one's. And then I'm also gonna go back to my playlist features. And another thing you guys should know is if you want to access a certain element within a group, but you already grouped it, right? You can just double click on the element that you want to, that specific one that you want to access, and double click it twice. And then I'm going to copy and paste this. But of course, you guys can go back to the design file as well. And I'm going to place this around here. And that looks about right. And basically what we want to do is, if you guys remember how to group things, we're going to group this entire section with the song cover and then the song title and artist and with the 3 dots. And then I'm going to group this because we're going to recreate this 4 more times or however many times you like. Give me a thumbs up if you guys are ready. And you guys will have time to like adjust, place these blanks with whatever image you'd like. What I did for a reference photo is just screenshot images. I did what, let's say screenshot the Google Development Club logo and click on where I want to replace that image and then via paste right. Okay. And you guys can also just edit your songs as well. Like I put the cover of August in the reference photo. So you guys can add any songs you like, maybe recreate your own playlists. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes for that. Oh, hello? 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 Can you guys hear me as loud as last time? I switched mics. Okay, this should work better. Give me a thumbs up if you guys are ready for the next step, or just let me know if you guys need more time adding your songs. Let me add my songs as well. Okay, now that it seems like everyone is ready for the next step, I'm not gonna recreate the song layout for the Spotify, but you guys can do that on your own with what you've learned from the past 20 minutes or so. But I'm gonna just show you guys how to create a new frame again. I'm gonna press F on my keyboard. And then do the same thing as I did before. I'm just gonna do this. That's what I like to do. And then you guys can also add the layout grid when you guys are trying to recreate this. Or you guys can recreate any part of the app flow that you'd like. But what I'm going to do is go back to my components and go to that very first icon and copy and paste that. But because Spotify doesn't have a white background, I'm gonna adjust the background like how we did before by going to the fill option while clicking on the frame layer. And then for this song, I'm just gonna do the same thing as before, maybe make it more muted gray. That should work. And then I'm gonna take that icon that we just copied and pasted from the components file. Just make sure you're clicking on it and then go to the design tab again, go to the rotation and then do 90 degrees. And it's the right angle symbol right here. And this is just like the back feature, like going back from the song view to the overview of your playlist. And I'm just gonna copy and paste this. And obviously, you guys will have time to recreate this whole thing either in this workshop or in your free time. Is everyone ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. And give me a thumbs down if you guys need more time. I'm gonna wait like a minute. And if you guys, for those who are waiting for the next step, you guys can press the present button on the top right corner just to see how it looked like in the prototype mode. But obviously we haven't added the wire connections for the prototype, but that will be coming up in the next few minutes. But if you guys just want to see how it looks so far. So this is the reference um, prototype. And basically, I just made one wire connection when I pressed this song called Peach Eyes right here. I made it so whenever I press on this grouping, then it leads to the song page. And this is basically um a part of the flow of the Spotify app. And then I also made another wire connection when I press this back button. It slides down back to the overview of the playlist. And that is what I'll be teaching you guys in the next step. But let me know if you guys are ready, if with the thumbs up. I'm just gonna turn off the grid layout just to make it easier to see. So now to start with the prototyping, as I told you guys earlier, we were working on the design tab for the wireframe and mockup. But now that we're ready to prototype, let's click the prototype tab. And basically what you want to do is start at the point where the user of your app will want to press like the button to lead themselves to another page or another feature, I guess. But click on the button or feature that you want the user to press. So I'm going to click on August, or I'll click on the right August. So I'm going to click on here. Remember that I am on the prototype tab right now. So when I click on here, it will allow me to click this plus button once you are hovering over the grouping. And I'll drag this to the frame. And basically what this does is whenever I press whatever surrounding or inside that blue border, whenever I press what anywhere inside it, then it will lead to this new frame right here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And while you guys are working that, I'm gonna make this more accurate. Did everyone get their prototype wire connection from the specific song to their new frame? Give me a thumbs up. And if you guys do have any questions, there are officers that are willing to help you guys. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go to the prototype tab, make sure I'm on the prototype tab, and click on the back button that we put earlier on our new frame. Click on the plus icon, which means that we're creating a new wire connection. And I'm gonna lead this back to our previous frame. And it's okay to have multiple wireframes going to and from. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's not gonna mess with anything. And as I showed you guys earlier in the reference prototype, I made it slide down instead of immediately showing up the playlist overview. And what I did was while I'm editing the wire connection, I can see the instant feature. I'm gonna click on that, and then I'm gonna do slide in. And slide in has the feature to go from to the left or to the right or down or upwards. And because we're kind of sliding down, I'm going to press the downwards arrow. And that should be good. Let me know if you guys got that wire connection by giving me a thumbs up and thumbs down if you guys are struggling.
If you need help, make sure to raise your hand and come around and give you individual help.
Or actually, I'm going if there's if people want to share. What about people send it to my email? If we have enough, I just say ask that. At the end of the month. So I'm gonna just present my the prototype that we just made. And then I'm just gonna press present. And this is how it should look. It's gonna take some time to load, maybe like 20 seconds. And ignore all the August songs. That's not very accurate. But just to get to the point, I'm gonna click on August right here. And it should show up whatever song that you put for that wire connection. And then by pressing the go back button or slide down, it should slide down. Did everyone get that part in their prototype? Okay, great. Since we do have some time left, you guys can keep working, like refining your prototype, or if you guys are really proud of your specific prototype, you guys can share it to my email. Just raise your hand if you guys want to share it and we can present it up here. Does anyone want to share their prototype? No.
Welcome to volunteers.
No one wants to share? You'll share? Okay. It's okay, it's okay. I'm just glad somebody wants to share. I'm going to show you how to share. So basically just click on the top right and then send invite this email right here, johmin@ucsc.edu, which is my email. Wait, I'm just kidding. It's Joyce Hannah Min at gmail.com. Yeah, I'm not able to send an invite to myself, but this is my email.
You wanna come up? All right. We'd like to stand up.
Oh, this one. Thank you. Oh, okay. So this is Tony's. Thank you for sharing. I'm gonna present this right here. But it looks good. Change the font. The gradient. Yeah, I just adjusted the opacity. I'm gonna represent this. Oh yeah. Oh, I see you listen to BTS. That's a good song. Rainy Days by V. Very nice, very nice. Oh, this is his dog, right? Very cool. No, this looks good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Let's get a round of applause. And now before you guys head out, please fill out the RSVP form or feedback form, which is right here. You guys can scan it with your phones.